Hello and welcome back to NERDBONE. Although, do I really want to say welcome back? Because there's something new in town. And by in town, I mean on this podcast. You want to know what it is? I bet you want to know what it is. It's a format. That's right. I have created a format for this show so that there's like consistent things. Weird, right? I know. It's been a lot of fun, and it's been, I don't know. It's been like a nice little calming, cozy place to be able to come on here on the show, and whether it's through the podcast or Instagram video, whatever, YouTube and all that jazz. It has been great to just pop on here and just unload whatever it is in my brain right now, and then just put that out there for you guys and interact with you guys on that sort of thing. However, I know for a fact that when you are in your comfort zone, that's when you start to slack. That's when you start to lose it. And look, it's going to be weird trying to figure this whole thing out. Especially with, well, in my case anyway, quarantine is sort of over. I'm back to work. I've been back to work for a few weeks, and my work schedule is crazy. It's a little bit insane. So trying to work that out, trying to figure out what the kids' schedule is as far as school and all that jazz. Anyway, I figured to myself, how can I make this a little bit easier, but also push myself forward? And that was to create a format and at least a loose schedule to follow so that this can be the best experience for everyone. Me, you, everybody. Love it. Love it. So right now I have it broken into, well, really two sections. And we're going to start with the first section right now, the first segment, if you will, which is, what am I nerding about? Now, this used to be the overall idea of the entire episode, which is whatever I'm nerding out about this week is just what I'm talking about. But that's only going to be for the first half or third, whatever. It's only going to be for a little bit, because I know if I go too far down the yellow brick road, then I will just start losing my mind, and I'll end up sitting here for 45 minutes just blabbering on and on. So what have I been nerding out about lately? I've been nerding out about cycling. That's right. Oh, I know. It's rough. Sports. Not even really. Well, it is a sport. I mean, I'm not competitive. I'm non-competitive cycling for exercise, kind of. So about 2 years ago, and I'll keep this story short because there's another place you can go and find it, which I will tell you about in a second. So about 2 years ago, I got back on a bicycle for the first time in about 15 years. And I was crazy about it because I had spent about 7 or 8, let's call it an even 10 of those 15 years doing all sorts of various exercises. And I have such a problem with the word exercises. Workouts. I'm going to say workouts. I tried all sorts of workouts, and mainly because of my depression, they didn't work out. I tried switching my diets around. Again, depression sucks. But anyway, ultimately, I was having a hard time finding something that I was not necessarily comfortable with, but passionate about. Like, it made me feel good afterward, right? Or I felt good while I was doing it. Does anybody really have fun when they're doing squats? Maybe some people do. I don't. I'm always thinking about my ankles because I have weird ankles, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, so over the past couple of years, I've on and off been working out with my father-in-law, Mario, which actually is a really good time. We keep it short, sweet, and to the point, pretty much. We focus on certain movements, lots of compound movements, that sort of thing. So it's almost like perfect for my sort of ADHD type brain where I can focus on this for a half hour, maybe 45 minutes, this workout, and then that's it. And we just do that once a day, 45 minutes, that's it, gone, done. Awesome. Feels great. We were doing it for a few weeks straight, made a whole lot of progress. The past 2 weeks have been rough on both of us from a schedule perspective, but we're getting back into it. So as far as cycling goes, so 2 years ago, I got back on a bike for the first time, and I felt amazing. It was one of those things where like you remember a favorite food from when you were a kid, and then you go out and get that food and eat it, and it's just as good as you remember, and it's like tripping out your brain with how rewarding it feels, right? That's the best way I can describe it. So I was riding for a while, a couple of months, and then we had winter came. I'm not gonna go riding out in the cold. I'm just not. It's just not the kind of guy that I can't handle it. Walking in the cold, great. Camping in the cold, super. Sleeping in the cold, my favorite. Riding a bicycle in the cold, not my deal. So continued with like workouts and stuff like that. Put the bike down in the basement. And then the following year, so 2019, just as the weather was getting nice, I ran out of time for not all of my hobbies, but basically, like I had to pick and choose, right? Because I had left my job and switched to a different job. I left my maintenance job and switched to, and had switched to traveling and whatnot for comic books for this comic book company that I was working with. And that was amazing. It was super rewarding. And I ultimately left that job to go back to my previous one. Money. I'm a parent. What am I going to do? Right. And the travel was getting a little brutal too. But anywhoozle, so by the time I left that job and went back to the previous one where I had more time to do things, well, guess what? It was late fall or early fall again, right? So I had missed all of the good weather for riding. And that's just the way it is. I had a great couple of months in 2018 where I was riding the bike almost every day, felt amazing. 2019 fell apart, whatever. This year, I have been super focused on my health. I think it's because I turned 30 in January. I don't know. Either way, yeah, I've just been focusing more on my health. And yes, I have been trying to eat better and sleep better and all that jazz. Yeah, I got a CPAP machine, which if you don't know, that's for sleep apnea, which is basically choking in the middle of the night while you're sleeping, so you're not getting enough air. So this forces air down there. You get plenty of oxygen. You actually have a deep sleep, which is amazing. So there's that, and started getting some of my teeth fixed, like that sort of stuff, right? Little things here and there, trying to make adjustments. Now, my diet hasn't been great, but we got really, really consistent with workouts. And as we were getting really consistent with workouts, I wanted to start to rotate in the cycling again. So I love the mountain bike. I do. But the riding around here is a lot of road riding. And it was one of those things where I'm like, well, I could buy the tires that fit on those wheels so that I can just use that bike to go around town. But I really wanted a road bike, right? So let me see if I can find a road bike that fits my budget, that fits my frame. I'm 240 pounds. Ain't nothing I'm going to do about that. And yeah, let's see what I can find. So I'm cruising through Facebook Marketplace, and I find an absolute gem, an absolute piece of mechanical perfection, painted magenta. It's amazing. I love this bike. I call it Prince the Fuji. It is a 1970s Fuji Sun Tour in magenta. I love this bike, and I love the connection that I feel with this bike. More on that you can check out on my new website, 10speedviking.com. That's right. One day I was out for a ride. It was like the second day that I had Prince the Fuji. And I'm like, that would be an interesting brand name, 10 Speed Viking. But I'm sure somebody's already done that. Well, guess what? Nobody had done it before, and now I'm doing it. So 10speedviking.com, go check that out. You can also follow 10 Speed Viking, that's me, on Instagram and Facebook as well. I don't really post on Facebook with it that much, but Instagram definitely. And it has been really cool to get to know a lot of things about the cycling community. I downloaded Strava, I track my rides, like that sort of thing. And it has been overall just a fantastic experience to have found that thing, and to have found the bike that not just fits my physical body, but also fits in that place in my soul that makes me feel really good. So that has been the main thing. I got this amazing bike. I've had to change the tires a couple of times, or tubes rather, and I changed the tires once. It needed some work. So actually earlier today, I want to give a quick shout out to Bike Sport in Trap, Pennsylvania. That's where I dropped off the bike. They're going to be doing some basic tune-up stuff with it. And I was having trouble with the one pedal, but more on that on 10speedviking.com and 10speedviking on Instagram later. So that is what I have been nerding out about. Over the past couple of weeks, my kiddo and I have started playing Pokemon. That's been a lot of fun. I did a couple of live streams on the Twitch channel, NERDBONE Pod on Twitch, playing the Pokemon trading card game online game, which has been neat. It's neat. And I'll tell you what, picking up the cards, the actual physical cards for me and the kiddo to play with, was awesome. But I never actually like played really when I was a kid, so I had no idea about the rules of the game at all or how it was played. Like, I understand the breakdown of the cards and hit points and damage counters and all that jazz. I sort of still had that in there. But playing the online game, TCG Online, was a huge help, like a huge help. Sort of just throwing me in the deep end of the pool as far as playing is concerned. And I got to relearn the rules and some rules that I hadn't learned before. And now I'm teaching the kid, and now we play every once in a while. It's awesome. So yeah, cycling, 10speedviking.com. Pokemon has been a ton of fun. And now comes the ad break. That's right, an ad break. I know it's insane, but look, you've been sitting here either listening to this as a podcast or watching it on the YouTube channel, which is also an option, by the way. And if you're watching on the YouTube channel, you have seen the glory that my beard has become. My whole beard and mustache situation has gotten to that really nice, clean length. And not only does it look clean, it looks healthy. It looks healthy and it looks full. And that is because of my partnership with an awesome company called The Beard Struggle. That's right, thebeardstruggle.com. Look, their whole theme is Vikings, which I absolutely love. It's not that I'm just into Vikings or Viking culture and that sort of thing as a nerd. I'm into it because, like, that's what I descended from. Like, that's where my people came from, right? So they're hitting me right here, right in the chest, right in the familials. Is that right? Right in the familials? I think it is. As far as their branding is concerned, but it's not all about their branding. It's 100%. Well, I'll say 98%. 98% is the actual products themselves, which are fantastic. God, I got a couple of things. I got the Viking Storm beard balm. I also picked up a beard brush. I had used combs before. This is my first time using a beard brush, and I am so happy with it. So if you go over to thebeardstruggle.com, you can check out all of the products that they have. There's that glorious heated comb steamer thing, which once this grows out a little bit more, I might get into. But as far as beard length is concerned, if you look right over here to the right side, it says what products are right for me, and it's all based on how long is your beard. New beard 0 to 3 inches, growing beard 4+ inches, and it will direct you, well, in the right direction, because that's how it works. They've got all sorts of awesome products, as well as like group together products and samples and that sort of thing. I love these guys. I love these guys. I love these products. When you check out, put in the code NERDBONE20. That's right, NERDBONE20. Where is it? There it is. Put in the promo code NERDBONE20 and you will get 15% off your order. Guys, if you're growing out a beard, you should do it right. Keep it clean, keep it neat, keep it nice and trim, keep it looking full and beautiful and healthy. Take care of the skin, take care of the hair. Use these amazing products from thebeardstruggle.com. Again, get 15% off your checkout with NERDBONE20. And now we're on to the next segment. I know, it's weird. It feels weird to me, but it feels good. It's a good kind of weird, right? It's like second date kind of weird. Like, yeah, now definitely committed to this for at least one more go, right? At least one more try. I'm going nerd news. I'm going for a news section of this podcast, and actually the news that I have to talk about at this point that this will be released is sort of old news, but I'm a little mixed up about it, just a little bit, because I'm seeing a lot of articles today. It's been like a week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that. I'm seeing a lot of articles today that say that it's not 100% secured, but I'm seeing some other articles that are like, oh yeah, it's definitely happening, right? And of course, that piece of news, because I love Batman so much, is the possibility of Michael Keaton returning as Bruce Wayne. I just got shivers. It feels good just saying that. The possibility of Michael Keaton returning as Bruce Wayne for the Flashpoint movie starring Ezra Miller, which will, I'm assuming, and I think everyone's assuming, and some people from DC have even said that Flashpoint will be a catalyst for a new generation coming for the DC Extended Universe films, whatever the hell they call it now. Marvel really lucked out with their name choice. The way that they've decided to name things, MCU, done. DCEU, that's like, it feels like I threw up in my mouth a little bit, but that might also be because of the quality of the films. Anywho, I am super excited for this. Now, Michael Keaton returning as Batman has sort of, at least for me and my my gaggle of friends, when we're talking about nerd stuff and especially Batman stuff, especially the DCEU and movies, Batman movies as a whole, that subject has come up quite a number of times because of the ability to use Flashpoint, but also primarily whenever we talk about the possibility of a Batman Beyond movie. Like when we start talking about a live action Batman Beyond movie, you ask anybody who should play old Bruce. Some people might say Batfleck, put a little gray in his hair, that sort of thing. Yeah, whatever. And of course, was it Kevin Conroy, I think, was just in the Arrowverse as an elder Bruce Wayne in the same vein, right? which makes sense. He did the voice on the series. Absolutely love it. I love Kevin Conroy. But I will guarantee that 90% of Batman fans will be like, oh, yeah, if you're going to make a live action, Batman Beyond, well, Michael Keaton's got to play Bruce Wayne. Like, that just, I mean, how do you not do that? He's perfectly nestled in that age range. He's a wonderful actor. Back then, he was a wonderful actor. He's still a wonderful actor. And also to see him return to a DC movie right after Birdman, which sort of made fun of his turn as Batman, and then Vulture in Homecoming. What was it? Homecoming? Yeah, Homecoming. Spider-Man Homecoming. And then have him come back as Bruce Wayne after all these years for the Flashpoint movie. Or for really any reason at all to have Michael Keaton back would be fantastic. Now, look, at some point on this podcast, I am going to do a Batman ranking. I will have a special guest on for that one, though, because there's some things that are just going to have to be debated. Now, look, I very much enjoyed Batfleck, and I really wish we could have gotten him back for more stuff. I am excited for The Batman starring Robert Pattinson. I think that's going to be good. I have high hopes for it. I like Robert Pattinson as an actor now. I did not like Twilight. I was not a Twilight head whatsoever, but I have seen him in a lot of things over the past couple of years, and I think he'll be great. But I thought Ben Affleck was actually really good. Now, the movies could have used some help. There was the whole debacle with Justice League. There was the whole debacle, he showed up in Suicide Squad, which was cool, but it wasn't a great movie because it was entertaining. It was a very entertaining movie. But anywho, I'm hoping for more Batfleck in the future. I am hoping beyond hope for Michael Keaton returning as Bruce Wayne. That will be awesome. Either way, more Batman stuff is coming. And that always there. Look, there's few things that I anticipate with such fervor. I don't even know what the word is. I'm so excited. New Batman films, Wes Anderson movies, sometimes Quentin Tarantino movies. Oh, and candy corn. Oh yeah, candy corn. As soon as it gets let's see, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, around the September 1st area. Once it hits around there, once it's around my mom's birthday, which is early September, I start to get that feeling deep in my heart. I'm like, oh yeah, the cold weather's gonna start rolling in soon, and you know what that means. Candy corn. Oh yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning into the podcast. If you're listening to it on iTunes, Stitcher, or any other place that you find your podcasts, just a reminder, you can also watch this or stream it on YouTube and eventually Twitch. I've done a couple of live streams on Twitch doing the podcast, but I think I'm primarily going to reserve Twitch for gaming because that's really what it's for, right? Hit us up on the tweets and the Instagrams at NERDBONE, Facebook.com/NERDBONEPod. And thank you guys so much for checking it out. What do you think of Michael Keaton coming back as the Batman? Who would you like to see in the cowl? What do you think about Robert Pattinson? What do you think? What do you think is going to happen? There's going to be the Flashpoint movie. I guess the Batman is not part of the DC extended universe of films, much like the Joker was not. I don't know. We'll see what happens. All I know is there's a bunch of superhero stuff going on and a bunch of awesome creators out in the universe, excited and willing and well-read enough to bring these things to life. And I'm excited for that. I'm excited for the future of superhero films. I know everybody was like, well, Avengers is done, So I guess that's just it then, which is not the case. Is not the case. All right. Have a good night, guys, or day, whenever you're listening to this, and I will see you next time. Peace.